Hello, welcome to the last lecture on representing data. Our learning outcome is to draw and interpret stem and leaf diagrams. A stem and leaf diagram is used to order and display quantitative data. That's data that can be written as a number. And usually that number is given to 2 or 3 significant figures. It's best explained using an example. Here are the marks of 20 students in a maths assignment. And we wish to display these marks in a stem and leaf diagram. First of all, we need to group the marks into groups of equal width. Grouping them into tens is the most usual choice. And here I have done it for you and grouped the various numbers into their tens, the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s and so on. Now we need to split each number into its stem and its leaf. The tens digit will be our stem and the units digit will be our leaf. So for example, the number 17, then the 1, this becomes the stem, and the 7, this becomes the leaf. So if we continue that for all of our data, what we can see is that for this first number, number 17, then we have a stem of 1 and a leaf of 7. For the number 19, it's still the stem of 1, but a leaf of 9. And I write the 9 next to the 7 with a space. 22 has a stem of 2 and a leaf of 2. 33, stem of 3, leaf of 3, 38, stem of 3, leaf of 8, 39, stem of 3 and a leaf of 9. And we can continue in this fashion until we have completed our whole table. And here it is completed. We also have a key to explain what the stem and the leaf mean. In our case, 1, 7 means 17 marks. So this is a stem and leaf diagram showing the maths marks in an assignment of 20 students. Now say for the same 20 students, we also have the marks of their science assignment, and here they are. And we wish to display both the maths and the science marks in a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. So let's do that. Here is the maths stem and leaf diagram that we have just done. And since the science marks can also be split into the same groupings, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and that's important. You have to be able to split your data into the same groupings for both sets of data. First of all, we have to group the marks into their tens and put them in numerical order. So we can see that the numbers less than 10, we just have one of them at 9. Now let's look at the teens. So we have actually just got one teen at 19. Then we can look at the 20s. Let me choose a different colour to show that. So the 20s, we've got 28, we've also got 26, but that's it. Oh no, sorry, 29, 2. And we have to have them in numerical order, and we can see it would be 26, 28, 29. And we continue in this fashion until we have completed it for all of the table. So the 30s, got a 34, a 37, let's see, yes, a 32, and that's it for the 30s. So continuing to group them in tens and put them in order, and then we can write them onto our back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. So on the right-hand side, we have the maths marks from our first set of data, and on the left-hand side, you can see now the science marks from the second set of data. We have changed our key slightly because of our back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. So 917 means 19 marks in a science test and 17 marks in the maths test. So here's our back-to-back stem and leaf diagram, but we may be asked some more questions about it. And here are some examples of questions. What was the lowest maths mark? What was the highest science mark? What was the highest mark overall and in which subject? How many marks over 65 were there? So if we look at our back-to-back stem and leaf diagram, what was the lowest maths mark? Well, we're looking at the maths data, so that's the data on the right. And the lowest one will be the first number in our list. But that's not 7, is it? It also has a stem, so that means that our lowest maths mark is in fact 17. So let's record that answer there. What was the highest science mark? Okay, the highest science mark, let's have a look for the highest science mark. So that would be the last number on the science side, and it's the highest one. Oops. So the highest one is actually going to be 79. So let's write that in. What was the highest mark overall and in which subject? Okay, so there's the highest science mark, but what about the highest maths mark? Well, the highest maths mark is actually over here, isn't it? And which is higher, 79 or 84? Well, 84 is the highest, so our answer will be the highest mark is 84 in maths. 84 in maths. And finally, how many marks over 65 were there? So we are interested in any number over 65, but that does not include 65. So let's have a look. Numbers over 65. Well, we've got a 66 here. This one is 65, so we don't want that. This one is 62, so we don't want that. But we do want all of the 70s and all of the 80s. And the question was, how many marks are there over 65? So all we have to do is count them up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our answer is there are 8 marks over 65. Okay, now try the question.